All right. Well, first, Art, I should remind everybody that your mic is hot. If you don't believe that, just pay attention to the news, right? We have had really good work. It's a unique time for everyone. I have no complaints. We got a weekend before we started school, but it's kind of different to be in camp and in school at the same time. So a little less meeting time. We're in our morning practice mode. We have stayed, knock on wood, relatively healthy. We've got a few people out, a little bit down in numbers anyway. But this team's got great spirit. I think one of my biggest concerns watching us is to make sure we continue to make progress to get into the conditioning level of being game ready. We returned July 13th, so minimally they missed a month and a half of what they would normally get here, and even further back, spring ball and some other things we do there. So we're making progress in that regard. I like this team. I like the speed on this team. I like the physical spirit and attitude. We'll find out a lot tomorrow about our personnel. First scrimmage tomorrow, and we're going to take a good look at every position. And I mentioned it the last time, a lot of competition. So to tell you anything definitive today about battles for this or battles for that would be a little bit premature. So after tomorrow, we'll know a little bit more. So I'll take your questions.
All right, let's go to Andrea Adelson.
Hey, thanks for doing this. I'm curious, and I wasn't on last week's call, so I apologize if you were asked this, but how have things changed for you throughout this off season now that you're getting back to calling plays?
Well, that's a great question, and it's been a unique experience to manage. The duties of a head coach have kind of, I think, changed quite a bit, and from counselor to just dealing with all the stress and emotions that everyone feels throughout this pandemic, and then to throw in an offensive coordinator's job with it. Has been unique. It's been challenging. It's been fun at times, but I'll be real honest with you, Andrea. It's been a load. I think I'm finally finding my groove a little bit. The staff has been great, and just getting out on the practice field, finally practicing has helped some, and feeling a little bit more comfortable in that coordinator's role has gotten better as we've gone through work. I am enjoying this. It's a different relationship with players, meeting with the quarterbacks, spending time with the offense, and then still trying to get my time in with the team. But I think I'm going to enjoy this. It's going to be, better get my sleep because it's going to be stressful and challenging physically.
Is it different than the last time you called plays?
Yeah, because it's just football changes a bit. There's no question about that. And when I in the past have called plays, it's been over a long period of time that you've done it, and you had a routine. Here's how the practice schedules were all set, and really we're having to kind of reinvent the wheel every day, and how you practice and where you are physically, and then you're putting in a lot of things different. We're going to be more in tune to what I've done in the past offensively. So yeah, it's quite a bit different than when I've done it before. But calling plays from the sideline, I've done it. I don't mind it. I've got great people to be in the press box. Zach Roper and Jeff Ferris, two of our full-time coaches, will be talking to me a lot, and I've been around them a long time and trust them, so that will help in that circumstance a bunch.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Jim Sumner.
Hey, David. I'm not unmindful of what you said earlier about learning more tomorrow's scrimmage, but I'm curious about your defense. You've got a lot of experienced talent at defensive end, safety, and corner, not too much experience at tackle and linebacker. I'm wondering
Well, Derek Tangelo has certainly set the pace inside at defensive tackle. He's had a great camp, just really has responded to being that leader. The one guy in there that is experienced. But we've gotten Ben Fry, who doesn't have a boatload of game experience, but he's healthy. He's back practicing at a high level. We've got a number of young people that, again, I'll know more tomorrow about where we are, but we have some size and some strength. We have some redshirt freshmen and freshmen that have certainly caught my eye. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really excited about our interior defensive linemen and the depth that I think we're going to surprise people with. So I'm looking forward to that. And then Shaka Hayward has been really outstanding at linebacker. Rocky Shelton has been tremendous to this point. Best start he's had since he's been here. And then you're right, after that, we're very young. We're very fast. They're physical. They're explosive. Lanier Gothi does a great job. So I think we may surprise a few people with the playmaking ability that we had. Dorian Mausi had a great interception this morning. He's an extremely athletic guy. So I'm excited about what I think we can build here defensively.
Earlier in the week, we talked to Matt. You referenced Christian Hood as somebody who made a positive impression. Are you seeing that too?
Oh, no question. I hate, he came in early, and I hate that we missed spring ball because he would be much further ahead than where he is now. But, he is a physical player and an intense player. He's got those Mike Singletary eyes. When I'm over there behind the offense, I look at his eyes a lot, and he is certainly a focused football player. He's fun to watch play.
All right, let's go to Aaron Beard.
Hey David, I was curious, when you have guys that maybe in past years, maybe you've had them bounce between some positions, move at different positions in the secondary just for depth purposes. Are you doing anything like that or more of that because you don't know, for instance, with COVID, if you could lose a guy and maybe you have to have guys play different positions to accommodate that depth-wise?
Yeah, I think that everybody has got to look at that and the mysteries of what your depth chart will look like potentially weekly. We're lucky that Michael Carter can play all the safety positions, play corner as well. Marquise Waters can play a couple of positions. Lummy Young, Jamart Woods has come in and learning. So you got the three safety mechanism that those guys can show up in a lot of places. And then at corner, certainly Leonard Johnson is a big, powerful corner. And with the other depth we have there, he's been able to work some at safety. This secondary is fast, experienced. It's been a real war to watch our young receivers compete against those guys. It's been tough at times, but it's made us better. So, Coach Guerreri's done a great job, and Chris Hampton's done a great job new on the staff with those corners. I love the technique work that we're getting there, and we've made some progress.
And just to follow up, are you doing it with any other positions or, offensive line or whatever, just trying to maybe build up some options if you have to get up shorthanded later in the year?
Yeah, we start practice with 8 guys snapping the ball, playing center. And then we're rotating guys that are very capable of it, our veterans, and guys that have experience. We're rotating offensive linemen all over the place. And I think probably after tomorrow we start settling into a 2 deep, but we're still going to have to be aware that you can end up having to do that and playing tight ends at receiver some and different things along those lines where you're capable and ready.
Thanks, David.
Let's go now to JB Riggs.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking out the time. I wanted to ask you State, throughout the country, having to shut down, because of clusters coming up. What is it that Duke is doing right, and what is it that gives you confidence that, we can continue with those protocols and have a college football season?
I'm going to really knock on wood on this one. I think our players have done an excellent job of being committed to the protocol, being committed to each other. It's hard work. There's no magic formula. It's what every sign you walk by in this building says. Great personal hygiene. Wear your mask. Stay 6 feet apart. We've gone to great lengths to live that in this building. I'm proud to say people tell me they see our players outside in the parking lot and they're wearing a mask. They're in a car with each other. They're wearing a mask. It just takes a lot of work, takes some good fortune. But I am very proud of our staff and our players. They've really bought into this. It's a mystery. I mean, you don't know what could occur. And I think everybody, I'm sure, is trying really hard to do the same thing. We've done testing twice a week. So we've tried to stay on top of it, and we had a few early issues with people brought things from home they didn't know. We had a couple of parents that were sick with it and didn't know it, and you get into a dorm setting, then you're obviously going to have a transmission. I think we have found that the transmissions really occur in living spaces, probably globally more than any other place. And so our guys are in individual rooms, and they're doing a good job of going to school and playing football. Whether we can continue that, we'll see. But I think we're all doing the right thing. I'll personally say this. I don't think you can run from something that you don't know how long you're going to live with this. None of us do. But we better learn how to live with it and continue to move forward. But it requires a great deal of discipline. I told our team back in spring, I said, the stay-home orders are really easy. There's not a lot of effort required. The effort comes in the reopening. The discipline comes in the reopening. And that's the focus that we have to continue. And because you're doing well with it, doesn't mean that you can relax it. You should go about assuming everybody that you come in contact with is contagious. And we've really tried to play it out that way, and hopefully we can continue to stay healthy.
Thank you. Let's go to Jake Piazza.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for having us. And kind of going off about what you just said, and in light of recent events, and I guess don't need to give it any names or anything, but has there been any sort of concern or nerve from the players about moving forward in light of everything that's happened recently?
Not recently. We haven't seen that. We had people, obviously, that opted out, that were concerned. I think all players and coaches, somewhere in the back of your mind, if you're human, you wonder what games are going to be like and what the circumstances are. And, it requires great leadership not only on the campuses, but it requires great leadership from the conference. And, people need to be confident that everybody is doing every little thing they can, the best we can possibly do it. So I listen to our players. We talk about it, and I'm going to continue to listen to them. But I want them to feel comfortable that everything that could possibly be being done is happening, and our players are enjoying playing the game and really enjoying being around each other.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, let's go to Mark Armstrong.
Hey, David, same kind of topic in general. Obviously, what's gone on at UNC and NC State is getting a lot of local publicity and even national. Do you keep your blinders on and just worry about what's going on your campus, or do you have to pay attention to these other close by spots too, by necessity?
Well, I've been in college athletics and college teaching, if you will, for a long time. I'm certainly concerned across our entire country for our young people. This is difficult. I mean, it's really, really difficult. I mean, you're social by nature. You're being asked, and since March, you've had the most unique life you ever could have ever dreamed to have to live. And so I pay attention to the news. I try to read as much as I can late at night because I know our players are hearing it, seeing it, and so I'm very aware of what's going on. And there are sad stories of the parties and people kind of flaunting things, but I think the sadder statement is that you very innocently could end up contracting this virus. So all you can do is all you can do. And I certainly realize, as I said, it could go south in a heartbeat at any time, but we're going to do everything we can in our power to keep them safe here. And when we travel to play or whatever, it's amazing what our medical group is doing, what our administrative group is doing. The care here has been phenomenal.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's go back to Jim.
David, one more quick question about position group. We asked you about your concern level for your running backs. You really only have two experienced running backs. Have you been able to shift people around to add to that group?
Well, no, our depth is thin there. We don't have people to try to move around in there. I've got ideas. I've got some contingency planning, but we got 3 scholarship players that are working now. But because of injury, we got 2 scholarship running backs that are out. But Dion Mateo and then Jordan Waters has had a great camp. He's healthy and he's gained some great experience since he's been here from a practice standpoint. So I feel great about the 3 we've got, and we got a couple of non-scholarship young men that are doing a great job. And so, literally 5 is not even close to enough, but that's where we are. But we've got some receivers and some people that could play in the backfield, and it wouldn't take them long to learn if we had to do that.
Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you all very much.
Appreciate it.
Stay safe, everyone.